Yeah, okay, this might seem like running back the same story over and over and over again, just like Trump. He's like, yeah, no, I probably maybe should be running in 2024, but I can't necessarily say it right now. But my supporters are going to be very happy. But yeah, okay, cool. If that's all he said, don't really much care. Wait until after the midterms and then just launch a campaign. Cool, that'll be great. It'll be wonderful, and you'll just watch all the fucking liberals' head explodes and the different rhinos that are out there. Oh, he lost the first time. Yeah, just, can we run back those numbers? No? Okay, cool. But yeah, hints at 2024 run, says he likes DeSantis a lot. That is my wet dream. Obviously, I've talked about it a lot, okay? Just set up DeSantis, okay? Because, yes, he's running again in 2022 to be the governor of Florida. I don't know who would be stupid enough on the Democratic side to oppose him, but that's going to be 2 years. 2 years to set up Florida, okay, and his image, and then just let his lieutenant governor take over for the last 2 years. Just be the vice president for Trump. Set yourself up there, put the people that you want in place, and then have 8 years of DeSantis. Sounds fucking great now, doesn't it? After the 4 years of being vice president, okay? After Trump sets you up and then continues his movement and then creates his legacy into the future. Sounds great now, doesn't it? And thankfully, this is the first indication, at least a little bit, of that being the case. Former President Donald Trump again hinted at a 2024 presidential run during his history tour with Bill O'Reilly in Orlando on Sunday. Sounds like a thing. We talked about this earlier, but I can't believe it. Well, I guess we are getting close to the end of the year, and they said they would be doing it in 2021. We won the first time. He means 2016, doesn't he? And the second time, we won by even more. I don't know what he's referring to there. And it looks like we might have to think about a very strongly a third time. As enunciated as only Trump possibly can. Orlando is the second stop on Trump's history tour with former Fox News anchor. Yeah, hasn't he been doing like a podcast or something like that since then? I don't know, a lot of people used to like Bill O'Reilly, and fuck it, we'll do it live, and I like him for that reason, but I never watched any of his programming, mostly because when he was on Fox News, I was in my early 20s, so at least twice as young as anybody else who would be watching at the same time, but whatever. When asked by O'Reilly if Florida Governor Ron DeSantis would be a possible number 2, Trump didn't address the question directly, because violating campaign finance law, that's been his go-to talking point for a long time. First of all, I think people are going to be very happy with what I do. As the question persisted, Trump said, he's certainly somebody I like a lot. I can tell you that. DeSantis has become popular among GOP voters. Yeah, and a bunch of smooth brains out there that don't think exactly what happened to Trump, what happened to George W. Bush would exactly be the same tactic that they used to smear Ron DeSantis. Oh, he's just like Trump without none of the baggage or none of the mean tweets. They'll just fucking lump him in and then just call him a Nazi, okay? They'll just paint him with the same fucking brush, so why not have somebody come in there, you know, first and foremost, kick down the doors and then set everything up for him in the future? Seems pretty obvious to me, but then again, I don't think like I'm a fucking coward. Oh, DeSantis will be so much better. Oh, he's just yeah, fuck off. Stop being such a bitch. During the first stop in Sunrise, Florida, Trump said DeSantis would be good for a potential running mate. I think Mike Pence has been very hurt by what took place with respect to January 6th. I think he's been mortally wounded, frankly. Yeah, we haven't heard anything, or at least, okay, like I see him pop up, but nobody really talks about what Pence is doing. I think he's working with the Heritage Foundation or something. He's working in the think tanks, exactly what those fucking rhinos do, okay? Listen, when he was announced as Trump's running mate back in 2015, I think he hopped on that ticket at that time. Maybe it was early 2016. Can't quite remember. He was like, this guy? He always seemed like the establishment pick anyways, and it just kind of looked like that way. He was just more of an appeasement pick so the rest of the Republican Party could get behind him, so I don't know. It really kind of seems like he's the outsider on this one, and I don't think anybody would really be clamoring for a return of Mike Pence for 2024, but we'll see where this goes, and it's obvious. It's obvious it's going to be Trump on the Republican side, okay? Everybody's going to be stepping out of the way. DeSantis has indicated as much anyway, so it's going to be Trump on one side of the aisle, but what are the Democrats going to do? Because that's one of those things that I've been theorizing for a while, because that bench of talent is as shallow as it gets. It's like the Kobe Bryant era of the Lakers. It's like there's Kobe, there was Powell, and then there was a bunch of friends and a bunch of people who were just happy to get a nice gold and purple jersey. Like, the Democrats don't really have anybody, okay? And CNN, okay, like I said in the first video there, we got to a little bit more from CNN. They realized that the writing's on the wall not but a year in, okay? They propose 11 candidates, which is hilarious. I've taken a look at the list, but there's one big name that's looming off in the distance, which I find just actually even more hilarious, if we're being completely honest. But we're going to run down this list of 11 candidates who could replace Joe Biden amid concerns about age and lack of popularity. But what about mental acuity? CNN suggested Monday 11 candidates who could replace President Joe Biden on the Democratic primary ticket in 2024. The establishment news network, which is going to have Chris Wallace, so that means they're going to be one of those unbiased news channels. Sure. Which the White House has courted to tamp down coverage of Biden's poor economic record, admitted the president's age and ongoing political struggles are a factor in 2024 considerations. No, he said he's going to continue to go forward. He's made it very clear that he's going to run again in 2024. Let's just see if he can physically hold on to do as much. Biden's approval rating has dipped into the high 30s amid a 40-year high inflation, southern border crisis, and the deadly Afghan withdrawal, which is apparently still fucking going on, if you can believe that, and left hundreds of Americans stranded in the country. He turns 82 years old 2 weeks after the 2024 election. If you think he looks like shit now, just imagine what another 3 years, and especially of the high pressure situation that the presidency leads. Like, you just take a look at every other recent president that has just come out of the White House after a 8-year term. They all look like shit afterwards, except for Trump. He seemed to look exactly the same, and then just a little bit away from being, well, a year out of the White House, he's lost weight and he looks younger. It's fucking weird. Like, the dude can definitely do it, even though he'll be 78 in 2024. Still the best option. Like, there's a stark difference. Like, if you guys have been watching, or at least paying attention to some of the coverage of the Kim Potter trial, okay, the lead defense attorney, Earl Grey, who's an absolute fucking boss, is the same age as Joe Biden. Okay, just compare and contrast that 78 to Joe Biden's 78. It's a light year's difference. Biden does not run. CNN suggests the following 11 candidates might be interested in the job. Oh, okay, cool. Vice President Kamala Harris. Obviously, goes without saying. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. His name is pretty much dirt, especially off the back of this year, where I need 9 fucking months of paternity leave after me and my husband adopted a kid. Why? Whatever. Yeah, during the still ongoing supply chain crisis, but whatever, you do you. Elizabeth Warren, somebody who's just, I think she might actually be a year older than Joe. I'm just going to throw that out there as well. So she's just about retired. Amy Klobuchar, nobody would vote for the fucking wine mom, okay? She is as unlikable as it gets. If you remember those Democratic primary debates, she was fairly insufferable, okay? Like, Kamala Harris was number one. Like, nobody liked her, and Klobuchar was like the 1A to Kamala Harris's number one. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. You talk to anybody who comes out of North Carolina and they fucking despise Roy Cooper. No national appeal. I couldn't pick the guy out of the lineup, okay? No chance there. Former mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu. I don't know who that is. Okay, he could be a great guy, but again, okay, prior to be appointed to being a transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg was the mayor of West Bend, Indiana, okay? Like, okay, the mayor of New Orleans, it's a more prestigious post, but again, you're just simply a mayor. Like, what kind of political acumen do you have? And that still is very important on the Democratic side of the aisle, like it or not. As much change and progress as they like to tote, it still holds a lot. Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo. Like, again, after this economic nosedive, I don't know how anybody could take this sitting Secretary of Commerce seriously, but whatever. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, boy. You know what? I hope that she would get the nomination on the Democratic side and then just go into a debate head-to-head with Trump. She would lose her fucking mind and end up trying to strangle him. She is dumb enough to do that. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Nobody likes him. He just about lost to a fucking nobody Republican. Okay, massive failure. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, yeah, that fat fuck. See Chris Christie, he's the Democrat. Okay, he's the more Democratic equivalent. Former member of Georgia House of Representatives Stacey Abrams. Oh yeah, okay, cool. The bitch who's still complaining about the 2018 election. Oh, I was robbed and I was cheated. Okay, cool. What? Look at that. They're all also rans, never have beens, never will be's. Barely anybody on that list has name recognition. Like, okay, Harris, maybe Buttigieg, Warren. Okay, it's weird because even Bernie Sanders has floated the idea of running again. But look at that list. Like, okay, the people who have name recognition, the people who could actually challenge Trump in a general election, like Biden. Okay, vice president in the Senate for fucking decades. He had name recognition. People knew who the fuck he was. But you run Roy Cooper or Landrieu, who the fuck is that? Okay, congratulations, 2 confirmed losers, and the rest of them, I just don't know why you do that. But don't worry, there's a stalking horse just waiting off in the distance, and yeah, I think she's doing this for a reason. White House repeats Joe Biden running in 2024 as Hillary Clinton raises profile. Yeah, recently she had that interview where she said if Trump wins again in 2024, it could be the end of democracy, which is high fucking comedy. She's making moves for a reason, okay? And we aren't going to be getting a repeat of 2020. Could be getting a repeat of 2016 because this bitch is still bitter as a motherfucker. White House repeated on Monday that President Joe Biden plans to run for re-election in 2024 as failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton continues to rebuild her political profile. You goddamn better believe she's going to be running again, okay? If there's an opportunity in 2024, she is going to fucking take it. Doesn't matter how many corpses she's going to leave in her wake. The president has every intention of running for re-election, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said during the daily briefing on Monday. Oh my God, she's almost out of there. Thank fucking God. Yeah, I thought Jen Psaki was leaving at the end of the year. Oh my God, that's just wonderful news. I just remembered that. That's so cool. On Sunday, Clinton warned that former President Donald Trump would run for president again in 2024 and that there would be dire consequences for the United States if he won. I think it would be the end of our democracy, she said with an awful cackle. God, I can't. It won't escape me, her awful cackle. But I'm with her, right? I said in an interview with NBC's Willie Geist, not to be too pointed about it, but I want people to understand that this is a make or break point. Cool, tell us more about Russia, Hill. Clinton's sudden reemergence on the public stage demonstrates her eagerness to put her name back in the political conversation as President Joe Biden's approval ratings are at an all-time low. Trump's unlikely run for president in 2024. No, he says that he hasn't quite made up his mind yet and that people would just be very happy about his decision. But what is his decision? Can't quite figure it out yet. Oh, yeah. About Biden's chances of actually beating the former president again if Vice President Kamala Harris would compete against him. That would be a bloodbath. Literally, metaphorically, she could barely stand up to Mike Pence, but could you imagine just the public poking and prodding that Trump would give her? Oh my God, I kind of want to see it happen because she would melt down at just such an apocalyptic rate. And Trump doesn't give a fuck if they're, oh, he's racist and sexist. He would just thrive on that. Oh, it'd be great campaign material. In her interview, Clinton reminded Americans she tried to warn them about Trump in 2016 and that her predictions came true. What? Okay, I tried to warn people. I tried to make the case that this was really dangerous. Yeah, like an actual, thriving economy, record low unemployment. Okay. And then made a phone call and then the world shut down for 2020. I don't know. It seems like everything was fine, but if, fewer people on the government tit than ever, if that's dangerous, I guess you got a case to make. The people he was allied with, who were they exactly? Oh, Russians, right? Oh, wait, that was you! Oh, God, that sucks. What they were saying, what he might do. Like what? Are you trying to say January 6th? Okay, remember, one person was killed that day. That was by one of the Secret Service members that were there with an itchy trigger finger who will never be held account for his actions, Michael Byrd. Warned that Trump and his supporters might try to beat whatever Democrat ran for president in 2024. Clearly, there were people who liked what they saw. Yeah, hi. Despite what I see as the real dangers to our country, they turned out and voted for him. Yeah, they did. A lot of people did. In fact, 74 million people did. Last week, Clinton tearfully revealed details of her political victory speech. Yeah, and I loved covering that. Not many people did, but yeah, hopefully more people watch this and are well attuned to the fact that CNN, even a couple of years before the campaign really starts to kick off, they realize that Joe Biden is a wilting violet isn't even an apt description. He's more like a wilting pile of compost. Like, there's nothing going on up there, and it's only going to get worse as the years go on. 2022 is going to be one hell of a fucking ride, and especially with the meltdown that's going to be happening about this time next year. But I don't know, man. I could see Hill running again in 2024, and she's delusional enough to do it, and delusional enough to believe that she would be successful in doing as much. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.